we'll do a question and answer session of everything we have done so far, from Sotapanna to Arahat. Okay, we can track the journey, we can see what works, what doesn't work, how to work, everything. So, and May is having a lot of experiences, so we can ask her to share her experience as well.
Hello, afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay, so anyone can start with questions. Otherwise, I can start with some questions to begin with. Shaniel can do that. Either way, it'll be good to go over the entire journey. What do you think? Is that a good idea, or do you want to go through Sutta? Which one?
I think question answer is a better thing.
Yeah, that would be light and it'll be nice. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, anyone can start with anything they want to investigate, and we can look at it and see how you can be sure where are you. So you can, like, just like on the road, you require a road map to basically say, oh, I am on this road, I've reached here. Is there anything we can see within ourselves which says that it's unshakable, we are here? Or we're just hallucinating, we're just imagining that we're here and then we're not there? So what changes? So any questions? So I can come up with a lot of questions. I myself can create tons of questions. But I will leave that to you rather than I creating questions. And I don't want even Shaniel to ask questions because there's nothing to question. So let him take the opportunity to answer. So either one of us can answer, both can answer, whatever it is. It'll be nice. That's what I feel. So before our Australian tour, you can have this Australian thing here. So those who cannot come, they can still benefit. No question? Then I have to create questions. Strange. So that means you all are arhats. Don't have questions. Yes, Niket. At least you have raised hand. I appreciate it.
My camera is not working, but yeah,
That's okay.
I'll ask the question. My question to Shaniel sir is, sir, you are a born Shrotapan, that is known. But for Shaniel sir is, during his meditations and during his time where he reached from, he reached Shrotapan, he reached Satgagami. So at each of these stages, was there specific roadblocks? And where he thought that the method he told that he reached Shrotapan and then there was no Vichitsaka. There was no doubt on the path. So was there intermediate periods where it sort of returned and where you thought that, okay, what I am doing is not right? And how was the duration? And did he go through any struggles on how to get over it or leave the practice or change something? So what was that, if it was, and what was that duration? What was the time for that? How long was it?
Okay, I'll do my best to answer that question. So there are many parts of that question. One of the ones that you mentioned was, were there any doubts after attending Sotapanna?
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Because of the experience that I had at that particular attainment, it was like so different to anything I'd ever experienced. And in line with what, I'd sort of known or heard about this experience. So I knew this was something very different. And I knew it was the result of the practice that I was doing. So from that point onwards, doubt was not there. but the obstacle became grasping at having that experience again, repeating that experience or wanting to progress. So that became my obstacle. And that obstacle lasted for maybe 2 to 3 years, 2.5 years. So I would still sit and I would meditate, but the meditation was always tinged with striving and grasping for something, what the next stage. And it was only when I started to let go that it became a lot easier to just sort of practice whatever I needed to do, like observing things without grasping and seeing where some of the where some of the defilements were, and then being able to work with those rather than just sort of, I'm sitting down, I need to achieve this thing, I need to attain this next stage. So that was probably the biggest block for me. The leading up to Sotapanna, I just followed what I was either taught in terms of Vipassana or samatha practice. And I was just observing my experience. I had no expectations then. I was just doing the practice. And so then I guess one day when the conditions were right, I was able to make that transition to that Sotapanna stage. So I think being ignorant in some ways to what to expect was beneficial for me, and I could see changes in myself from doing those practices. So that was enough a reward to continue to practice, and develop the path. And then it's just when you have that big shift, that big breakthrough, then that was something like, oh, now I can see what the heights are, and then you start to grasp for those. After Sotapanna stage, when I was able to let go and I was just able to practice and observe, I attained Sakadagami stage pretty soon after that. And from that point on, there were subtle signs of wanting to make progress and achieve and grasping at things, but I knew where that would lead, so I didn't go into that too deeply. So anytime that came up, I just take it easy, no rush, just keep doing the work. It will unfold, because I'd seen it unfold enough. But at the same time, I was in unfamiliar territory, so I wasn't necessarily looking for teachers or guidance, but the wonderful thing about the Dhamma is, like, whatever you need at a particular time, it kind of gives to you. So at that stage, that's when I came in contact with Vilasji's teachings. And then I started to watch or to listen to those from afar. And that kind of helped me progress through the other stages. I hope that answers your question. If there's anything that I missed, please ask.
No, it does. It does. Just one follow-up question. You mentioned about the Vipassana practice. Mm-hmm. Was it the Goenkaji's practice that you were doing, or you read the suttas and tried to modify it according to your needs and all? Or it was pure Samadhi, Anapansati, and less of Vipassana, the body scanning part?
In the initial stages, it was what I learned from Goenkaji's courses. That's all I had. I had no other exposure, and that that allowed me to make progress to a certain extent. But I could also see that there are other faculties and skills that were developing that allowed me to still investigate, but not necessarily body scanning. Like, body scanning helped in the initial stages, but then as I was able to develop other faculties, I was investigating other things. And then I also came in contact with Vilasji, and he was teaching from the suttas. So that gave me other things to investigate. So these later stages, from leading up to Anagami stage and Arahat stage, I wasn't doing any body scanning practice. I was just investigating nature of mind and, whatever else was arising, any areas where I was still clinging, trying to understand how dependent origination worked, looking at the five khandhas, so that wasn't body scanning. But in the initial stages, yes, that helped me to an extent where I could penetrate, reality. And I believe that body scanning helped me at that stage, but also in conjunction with watching the breath and developing samadhi. So I needed both of those two things to initially penetrate and get to Sotapanna.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes, me and Bobby. Okay, me, go ahead. You are showing one.
Okay. Okay. This is for Shane. I think you've probably been practicing all of these in your past life. Like when you talked about, your mind just showed you how to do all the jhanas. I was thinking, you've probably done this before. So your mind said, this is how you do it. And I was just wondering, when you reached a certain stage, did you do anything else other than Anapanasati? And did you do things like from the Sotapanna Sutta, did you do the Vedana-nupassana, Chitta-nupassana, all the dhatus, or any asubha, or did you do anything, or just went with the flow of just watching the mind and just studying the mind and just dealing with defilements, really?
Yeah, you asked a really interesting question. I'm going to start with your first thing. First, you talk about past lives or whatever practicing. It was really weird to me when, I was just able to do something because the mind just sort of showed me. And it wasn't the first time, like that was only one instance. But I also remember to when I was younger, I remember when I was probably like 5 or 6, I could do some things which were a little bit strange, like even just observing sensations. Sensations, don't confuse it with Goenkaji's sensations, but say, for example, hot water, like when you run a bath or whatever, I could put hot water on my hand, but not get burnt or feel, the desire to pull it away because I could observe the underlying sensations underneath that, So that was always strange to me, like, well, how can I see that? Sometimes when I would sit or study or be quiet, my mind would naturally get into these states which seemed like samadhi or jhana, but I couldn't do it myself. It would just happen. And I'd try to recreate it like, that was a really peaceful experience, but then I couldn't do it again, like if I tried. And I always had this sense too that this is not me, like, and there's something that is like, it's not this body, it's not this mind. There's something else there that doesn't age or change, like as I grew and developed, So I had these things, and I didn't really understand what they were. I just thought, okay, that's so strange. And it was only when I came in contact with the Dhamma that, some of these things then were like, maybe I did practice in a past life. I don't know. And then the second part of your question is what did I do? All of those things that you mentioned, I did based on whatever I could observe, like watching my mind. So if there was craving or lust for things, I'd do asubha practices, and I'd do all of those things like stripping down the body or see the body as a decomposing thing. So whenever these things came up in my mind, these defilements, I would find the right antidote and apply that and then do it. And so I used to do 10-day retreats here by myself at my home. And I would do a Goenka style retreat, and I'd do the body scanning and everything else. But after my second one, I was listening to his Sotapanna discourses, and I could see at some point, I could see my mind very clearly and see, thoughts arise and pass, and so I could do, Chitta Nupassana and Dhamma Nupassana and all of those things. So I would do whatever I felt I needed to do based on what was happening, So it was many of those practices, and ultimately what I could see is, slowly over time, they weakened whatever defilements were there. And I think it's very important, like in your practice, as you develop those faculties, where you're able to watch your mind all of the time, see what's happening. Whenever things do arise that are defilements that you need to not let that proliferate, you need to try and stop it there. And then you need to do some more formal practice to work on those things, like being able to do a super practices. It's not easy in real time, but if you practice it on the cushion, doing that, then in real life you can apply that pretty easily straight away. And even up until this, I say, end point, like still, whenever anything happened, I would apply these things in practice.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to add to what he said on the water, hot water, I had that in the 8th grade. So one of my school teacher, he just mentioned that there's certain things in our body which are something different and one should investigate. So I came back home and then I was thinking about it. And then next day when I went for a bath and I just poured water on it and waited, and my mom was shouting, "Are you going to come out of the washroom or you're going to stay there?" Because I was just putting water from the head and looking at what's going to happen and then each part. So I remembered Wiley said about it that hot water, when you get it, you can feel a different thing. It's not you. There's something different. It's not at all you. So from that time onwards, and after my near-death experience, then I was sure there's something other than this. So from that time, when I take a bath, I'm really mindful, meaning I know that the water falls on this and the water falling on this part, and then I keep on looking at the body, and then I start investigating that this is growing in a different way. And I'm the witness to whatever is growing, and then I can't do anything about it. Like the hairs which are coming, it looks to me, this looks like a grass grown on a land, right? So you can only move it, like you can shave it, but you can't stop it. You cut it, again it comes, and again you cut it, again it comes, and the same thing across the body. So like that, I remembered from what he said. Yeah, I had that in my 8th grade. It was a nice experience then. Good. Any other question from Sotapanna to Arhat?
I think Bobby had a question.
Yeah, Bobby, sorry, I forgot you.
Yeah, see, my question was actually partially answered by Vilasji just now. So, but still I would ask that this question was to Vilasji. Now, Daniel just told after he had this Sotapanna experience, cessation experience, I think I heard something that his doubt is gone. But in your case, I think you always say that you had this profound experience later in your life, and then I think you reached the Sakitagami or Anagami at that time. So that means if you are having this, the doubt is gone or something, is that your case from your childhood that you didn't have any blind belief in rites and rituals, or you didn't have any doubt, or you didn't have any kind of other three fetters that those three fetters which Sotapanna doesn't have from your childhood? How we can understand that?
Yeah, good question. So even otherwise, I used to have a lot of arguments with my father-in-law, even before I came into Dhamma, that he used to tell some Sanskrit things, and I knew Sanskrit. I said, this is not how it is. And I have never had any faith in any kind of rituals, which we generally do here, because I found 4 strange things. Number one, just by doing that, you'll not get anything unless your mind is in that. Number one. Number two is that you need to experience something out of it. You can't be just doing something just for the sake of doing it and then you think that it's going to work. Number three is that it should be something where it is not a ritual which matters. It's the experience which matters than the ritual. And the fourth one is that you need to have what you're asking for. Meaning, if we say that we are uttering this mantra, it should work for you. So you should know which mantra should work for you so that you can associate with it. So you just can't be random. That's not a feasible solution. So even before I came into the Buddha Dhamma, that is the Theravada kind, that is in 2000, from 2013 onwards, or rather 12 end and 13 onwards. Earlier it was with Vajrayana. And what I found is something strange, that if you do something, let's say on the Dhamma, you will get instant result. It is not, you don't have to wait for the result to arrive. This I found strange in other religion tradition, that you need to wait. But when I started applying it on the Theravada way, or the way of the Sutta, then I found it works. And that really triggered me to go to Sri Lanka, because I couldn't find anyone here who can tell me whether this is how it works. I was so fascinated. I just wanted to share to some Bhante and saying that this is what I am getting, because I always felt Bhantes knows more. They would have already reached this. I was actually wrong, but I had this, maybe a blind faith or blind view, not a faith, that they know. So when I went there and I was able to explain to them how this whole thing works, I could see them getting surprised. And what I thought was they will listen and they will tell me that this is what Sotapanna means, this is what it means by Sakadagami and Anagami, etc. Instead, they were surprised. They start saying that this is strange. I mean, becoming a Sotapanna itself is very difficult. So then I thought, okay, that means if you do it yourself, let's say you know it, means there's a way of understanding it, then it will shake your doubt. So when I came back from Sri Lanka, I didn't accept to that Bhante who said to me that you're a Sotapanna by birth. I wanted to check to be sure that have I reached Sotapanna? What's the indicator? So I recreated that entire situation. I recreated it to see how it works. And then took out the sutta to say that, oh, this is how the Sotapanna would behave. Is that exact behavior matching with it? And I felt, yes, it is matching. It's exactly matching. So then I relied on his judgment, who had said to me, that Bhante, that yeah, you are a Sotapanna by birth. And then I felt, okay, so you can validate it, meaning you can ask somebody to validate it. If somebody is in a higher than you, can validate it. Or if somebody is equal to you, also can validate it. If not, you can take the sutta and validate it. So now you have three approaches to do, not just one approach. So you don't have to be worried about whether you have still a doubt or not. So I didn't have any doubt then. But earlier, even though I knew it is something different, but I thought I should go and ask someone, because when I started Goenka technique in the year 2012, the only thing I was thinking is that you have to go by this path. But then when things started moving out and totally changed my way of thinking after leaving Goenkaji and looking at the suttas from 2014, the 4 years, 2014 to 2000, sorry, 3 years, 2014 to 2017, was a series of lot of anguish, that helplessness feeling that I need someone to help me. And I found nobody's there to help me. That anguish was when I had known that something has happened. I just wanted to ask someone, is this how it works? Because I was explaining this five khandas to that Bhante. And the way he looked at me, he said, I have never heard anything like this before. So he took out the Majjhima Nikaya, sorry, Sanyukta Nikaya, and he was telling to his disciples, you look at this foreigner who has come. He's teaching us how to understand the five aggregates. We've been reading this forever. So that was a moment which reignited, saying that, yeah, I have done this. And then when I came back to Bangalore, and then I started working it out on the sutta, just to be sure that you have reached. So, Bobby, to answer to your question, is that you can find out. Only thing is that you have to penetrate and see it. You would have a doubt whether you did or you didn't do it. So, if you have a doubt, then you have to ask someone whom you think has reached whether you have reached. But if you still have doubt on that, means you doubt that person itself, and that becomes like a doubt over doubt. Then you have to do it yourself. Just like in my case, I knew I've done something, I went and told them, but I didn't rely on them, mean that I have to do it myself. Does that answer?
Yeah, thank you, Vilashi. Yeah, it is good, but I'll add on to it. Can you briefly explain the difference between, mainly Vichikita and Moha and Avidya? It looks like they are some kind of synonymous terms, So, what is doubt is or Vichikita is very basic level. I think Avidya is the highest ignorance. So, can you
Correct.
please
Correct. Those three things what you said, especially Visikiccha, means you're unsettled. It's not really doubt. It will not allow you to settle down. You just feel that I think, I don't think, I think, I don't think, I think, I don't think. So that kind of movement is that creates restlessness, because you can't rely on anything now, because you feel something is missing, something is missing, something is missing, and that is the doubt. So what Buddha says is that when you are stuck with that, go by the Dhamma. Now, what's the Dhamma? It's very simple. Whatever arises passes away. That's Dhamma. This is arisen to you. It'll pass away. Just hang on. It'll pass away. So life has arisen, so it'll pass away. Day is arisen, will pass away. In the same way, the doubt is arisen, will pass away. If you understand this arising and passing away, then you're Sotapanna. Simple as that. There's nothing else to that. That you're dividing by 5 parts as 5 khandas. But in real, if a day has started, it's going to end no matter what you do about it. You can put some label saying that pre-dawn, morning, this, that, so many things, but it doesn't stay. It passes away. If the day is passing away, and every day passing away means you're aging, will you ever not die? That's it. That's all what it is. So your death and life is just 18 plus 6, 24. 18 hours of living, 6 hours of death every given day. That's all what it is. If we wake up, you see the day. And that person who sees this is Panya Vimukti, meaning he's seen through wisdom. And another person who sees it to Saddha, meaning faith, that there is something like what happened to me, there is something beyond this. And that is a Saddha Vimukta. Right? So then you have two. You have Panya and Saddha. And both will take to the same destination, which is Sotapanna. So the Saddha Vimukti is nothing but Sotapanna, because you have driven yourself to understand this. A Panya Vimukta person is one who is understood the Dhamma. If anything, there is an arising. This is going to cease. It doesn't exist. So, if I consider, Bobby, this for you especially, if I'm landing on Saturday, that's a birth in Brisbane. 10th of Jan is certain death. in Brisbane, unless the conditions come where Shaniel gets mad and he extends my stay for whatever reason. And my wife feels that I shouldn't be back home at all. And I love to be in Brisbane. If these condition matches, and then only my life can be extended. Even if it is yes, let's say he moves the time from 10th of Jan to 10th of Jan 2026, sorry, 27. Still the death is in 2027, 10th Jan. Let's say he takes Karuna and he will make it 28. Still it is going to be 28. It's futile. Just by moving date, you can't stop death. Each day ending is death. You cease to exist. And that will take you from Sotapanna to Sakadagami. Why? Because you lose interest in Kamachanda and Vyapada. And that seeing death, life equals death, both go together like this. You've seen the Patisamutpada, dependent origination. So you get into Anagami. Because there's nothing in this world which can satisfy your living. Doesn't make any sense. So you let go of it. This is, I'm talking from the Panya point of view, from wisdom point of view. And then the last one, just give up. Don't hold on to anything. Like what I did with Shaniel. I said, transfer $1, that's sufficient. I'll relieve you and I'll relieve myself. That's it. Over. That very moment, done. Because that is hanging on. This consciousness is just trying to hook to some existence. If not this, that existence. So now what happens? If there's an existence, then it has to go through the same process. It has to grow, it has to decay, it has to die. So once he transfers money to my account, it's death, actually. It's come into my account, and then do what? What will I do with that now? That anxiety was to get it transferred from his account to my account. But he's not giving it to me either. It's going from account to account. It's funny. What's the point? So just give up. This is from the Panya. You take from the Saddha point of view, or where you do the jhanas. Like if I take what he say is that he started with the Vipassana of the Goenka. Then he came to TMI. TMI helps you a beautiful way to address samatha issues. I have never found anyone explaining samatha as beautifully as Chuladasa. At least I have not known anyone. And in fact, Ariu introduced me that Chuladasa's book. I think if he applies it to himself, I think he would just super drive. Anyway, but the 10 stages, if anybody were to get it completely as is put in that book, you attain the highest samatha, beyond doubt. Now, the advantage with that approach is when you are calm in the mind, is samatha, you can do vipassana. Not the body sensation kind. You take any kind. You can investigate. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper until it breaks. Simple. It helps you in another beautiful way. One of the deepest concern we have is on jhana. Should you, shouldn't you, is first problem. If you look at the internet, it's spread out. Some people say you shouldn't, some people say you should, and some people say it brings in attachment. Some people say that's the only way to do it, etc., etc. You get totally muddled up. And there's Arya Jhana, Anarya Jhana, again another sort of confusions. So in the Theravada, it looks, so much of muddling around. Why don't I just drop that and enter into jhana? The best thing. See it for yourself. It doesn't matter whether it's Ariya, Anariya, this one, that one. At least you are get there. The beauty part is, if you get there on the fourth jhana, you know exactly what next to be done. You don't require anyone to tell you what next. It takes you there. And then you can do it. Yes, Shania, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to weigh in on that conversation about jhana, whether you should or shouldn't. In my experience, it was necessary. And I've heard other people say you can't get past Sakadagami without jhanas. And obviously, I could do them, but then I wasn't that interested in doing them until Vilasji said, you'll need that to get to Anagami stage. So then I kept cultivating the jhanas. And they were quite, like, they're very easily accessible to me. It just, I wasn't practicing them unless, you know, I just felt like, you know, going into jhana for a little while. So I would suggest that you do develop them, and TMI practice naturally leads to that as well if you do it. And the other thing is, I noticed that my jhanas got deeper and deeper and deeper as I progressed as well. And as they get deeper, they allow you to see more things, you know, allow you to penetrate more deeply. So even now, like, I haven't really practiced jhana since, you know, last week, but just the depth of meditation now is even stronger. Like, so I imagine even my jhanas would be stronger. And leading up to this, I could see both jhana and the Brahma viharas, you know, deepening in strength. So I think it's important to develop it and then, you know, use it. And some people might get attached to it, but what I found for myself is initially, yeah, they're interesting, but then your mind gets bored of everything eventually, and then you move on naturally. So at some stage, you'll get back to investigating what you need to.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, I feel you should get into it. Whenever somebody says, don't get into it, you get into it. You try and see. It's just like wearing a dress and seeing whether it fits. No matter how much a person says it will fit you, doesn't fit you, and all that, when you wear only, you're satisfied. In the same way, you can do it yourself. Take help, certainly, but do it. Don't get here, there. Just do it. It'll work. The problem with us is we don't do it. We want somebody to assure us. Forget that assurance. You do it. And then ask, oh, I did this. What happens then? That would be the most appropriate thing. Like now, May is getting a lot of insights. I'm really happy with the way she's getting insights. Now she has got rid of male and female. It's amazing. If you try even more harder, I mean, in a good way, you would reach Anagami stage for sure, and you will come to see it. You have reached it because you lose interest in every sensual activity completely, and one day you wake up and you feel you're not basically interested with any objects. Now the advantage of that is you can create it. Now you know what's a coffee, you know what's a tea, you drink, you do whatever it is, but you're not attached to it. Tomorrow, if you don't have, you don't crave for it. If you have, you again don't crave for it. So you lose that craving for sensuality. And
I think I already lost the interest in other things before the male and female, because it was just one day it's funny because I was just, again, I've been doing this. I think the most important thing actually is just like Vilaji is always telling us, you know, just stay on the breath. And it was just, I just needed to stay on the breath. I think I just didn't have the confidence that I could stay on the breath all day. And then once I started doing that, it's just all the insights just slowly just came and came and came. And so I think you just need to stay on the breath. And then the first thing I had was, I think it was just that all things were just compounded. Like everything started, I just did start to see like cars, houses, everything you can think of was just made up of things. And I knew, like, you know, the base, Sankara, Nietzsche. So you knew that just by knowing that everything was made up, that you knew they were all impermanent. And I think that helped. So then I lost interest in everything. And then saw that, like colors, they were just, everything was sight was just colors. And then I remember going for a walk, and I'd always loved to look at the sea that I could see from the top of the hill. And now I just lost interest. I just stopped looking. And then there was that kind of interest to always look out that way. And I just stopped looking. I realized after a few more walks up the hill now and again, I thought, I don't have any more interest. Haven't looked at that hill outside of the view for, I don't know, many walks now. And I thought, oh, I've lost interest. And then the male and female thing, it was quite, but I knew for some reason I couldn't break the male and female thing. And I knew I had to keep working on it. So obviously I do, like Shani, a lot of Asubha meditation, a lot of Marananusati Asubha, and you have to, I think it's very important that you start with the internal and before you do external, because if you don't do the internal, you won't see the external, really. I think I found, so you have to see your body deteriorating and, all the, and everything. But then it was one day I was just looking at the photos, and then Vilas had told me a long time ago, the only way that you're going to see, not see the difference between male and female is to look at something that was common. Obviously, that stayed in the back of my mind, but I hadn't been really thinking about it. But I was just looking through a photo one day, just looking at photos, and I just thought, oh my God, they're male and female. They just had, head, hair, body. I knew that, the Thai always chanting, Kesa, Loma, Danta. And I was just looking, and I saw everybody just had head, hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin. And I thought, there's nothing more in a man than a female than just these things. And then it just clicked, and I thought, that's it. That was it. And then, just now I see it's just it. And there's nothing any more interesting. And I couldn't see anything more in a male or a female. They were just that and nothing else. So I think that was this good. And so after that insight came, I was just watching it to see whether it still stayed. So for days, I just kept looking, can I feel anything? And then, I don't know, it's been about a week or so that I could feel that there was nothing. I always knew that there was something inside that always came, that it was male or there was female. And now it's, I don't know, it's just, I can't feel anything. It's just quite still. And so I think that was really good. And I think that was like I knew that was a breakthrough, because I've been trying to break that for quite a long time. So now it's really good. And I can still look at a male and I know that's a male, but I know that in truth, there is no male, but I can see looking at a male that I know that's a male and there's a female, but really that there isn't really a male and a female.
Good. Excellent. Happy for you, May. Excellent.
Thank you.
And one other thing before I leave to Shaniel, he's raised a hand. So once you break it, you can't fix it. This is a very good thing about Dhamma. Once you break it, can't fix it. You can't stick it back. It doesn't stick. So forever, you will never have male and female distinguishment. In fact, I should tell my mother, there's no female and male. She said, you've gone crazy. I said, no, in reality, there's no male and female. So in my college days at that time, bringing a girlfriend to your home is a sin, basically. At least in my home, we're very orthodox. So you can't get a girl like my in-laws, right? So then my friend had come from Germany. She is my friend whom I married. And he's a common friend to both of us. So he came running, meaning literal running, meaning he brought his two-wheeler or a cycle thing. He had come from Germany. He was working in Germany. He came down to talk to her at her home. Don't marry Vilas. Why? She asked. You don't know how many girlfriends he has. He's a spoiled brat. Don't marry him. And then when I went and met her, she said, you know what, your friend tells me that I should marry you because you have a lot of girlfriends. I said, yes, I have many, not one. But I never had this thing called as I have so many females. As such, I was only studying females rather than looking at I have so many female friends. So I should tell my parents, I don't think there's anything called as female. And they should say, gone mad. So now it is true. It's you also got it. There's no female and male at all in truth and fact. It's only the body which looks female because you made it look female. You have named it female. It's only the genital what you're talking about. There's nothing else other than genital saying that is female and a male. That's it. Yeah, sorry, Shane, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Velocity, and yeah, congratulations, mate. What I wanted to share was leading up to attending Anagami stage. It's the same thing. Like I would go for walks, and no interest in seeing the detail of things, you know. And you just see shapes and colors, and you knew what they were. Still, you're still seeing clearly. But I guess as a Chitta Vimukti that Vilas was saying, nothing. I would not be attracted to any of these things. So it's a really good sign, that you're able to see the world in that way. And even, from that point onwards, whenever I go, the velocity showed, going to a shopping center and doing all of that stuff, which hopefully you'll get to do when you come here. You don't need it anymore anyway, but that experience really helped to cement that for me when I'm there, and I'm and then practicing the jhanas as well. So it's really, really good. And it was not too long after that I was able to attain that Anagami stage.
Yeah, one funny thing happened with Ari. I had told him in the mall, look at the legs, walking legs. And he got interested in the legs. I said, oh, you're enjoying legs. I didn't say you to enjoy legs. I said, just watch the leg, not enjoy the legs. So we're in the mall and all of these skinny kind of dresses, and they're walking, and he's looking at the Chinese ones. So they were walking, and he's keenly watching, and I'm the one side is Vrinda and another side is Chirag, and he's sitting, and then we are sitting like this, and I'm asking them, watch them walking. So they're walking, and then he wanted to have that boba tea or whatever. Then he's asking me, Vilas, you know what's happening to me? I'm getting interested in this Chinese legs. I said, what? I said you to watch it, not enjoy it, not look at it. So that is Kamachanda, actually, to be honest. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, until Sakadagami, you would have it, and even Sakadagami has it, but in a very lesser tone. Basically, what you see in a leg is shaved legs. If it is hairy, you hate it. So what the female does is removes the hairs, which is made up with sankhara. If you want to really understand what is sankhara, just enter into the mall. It's completely sankhara. Everything over there, from boba tea to this to that, and everything is sankhara. So sabbe sankhara anicchati. It's just, you make it up. It's really not there. So I took Vrinda we went to a store where the purse or bag costed $4,000. So we went to that shop. So she wanted to buy a purse, or I don't know, bag or something, vanity bag or whatever that. Then it is a saddle bag. So it is made out of skin. So I was telling her, look from where it is made. It's made out of cow's skin, buffalo skin, deer skin, this skin, that skin. You are wearing skin, this skin, same skin. Watch it. And she's explaining, that saleswoman is explaining beautifully. She's explaining this, why the shape is and this is. I'm just saying, Brenda, have a enjoy. Take it. Look everything. But you see what is there inside. It's a flesh. You're going to carry flesh. And in reality, there's nothing out there. You cover it up by polishing it. So mall, like what he said, if you go to a mall, I want to take Bobby to the mall, and we didn't spend much time, but actually you can see how people get mesmerized by that, and you just sit and watch. You see people carrying something, something, and all that. Just watch, and you can see yourself from that state to an anagami state because you so disinterested, but yet you're watching. Very nice. That becomes jhana. Anyway, yeah, Shinil, go ahead.
Yeah, it does become jhana. You're just walking around in jhana when you're like that. One other two bits of advice I wanted to give to May as well. Like the thing that helped me a lot was at that stage when things were like that, Kamachanda and Vyapada will still come up for certain things, you know. Maybe not because you're walking around and you're not really being attracted to these things, but in the mind they'll still come up. And whenever they did, then I would, apply the antidote. If it's Vyapada, metta straight away as soon as it comes up. If it's Kamachanda, then I'd look at the drawback and the defect, that this thing is impermanent, I have to keep on chasing after that to get this little fix of joy or whatever. It's short-lived. So whenever anything came up, like straight away, I'd apply one of those two antidotes. And then I'm not sure which one broke first. Not really sure because they're both quite weak, but eventually I guess one of them went and then the other one collapsed too. And then I was able to attain anagami stage. So if you can be very diligent with that, it'll help.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shinil, from your eyes, I think, I'm quite sure that you broke the Vyapada and the Kamachanda went out because you were practicing a lot on the metta. So,
Yes, I was.
and because of that, there's no Kamachanda. Because the moment you become compassionate, you start not to look. It'll be fun. You just go to the mall. And the best part is that mall has air conditioning. So you can just sit there and you watch these mad people coming with half dress, no dress, this, that, whatever it is. Just watch. It's just flesh. It's just flesh. There's nothing out there except for flesh. No matter whether somebody's shaven, non-shaven, whatever it is, worn, not worn, nothing. Just flesh. If you see the flesh, you see the bone. This entire thing is bone, a mass of bone. So bone and flesh. And what is the flesh made out of? The flesh is made of mud, nothing else. So you get only two things, stone and mud. That's it. And you are done. Then you go and buy whatever in this world. You bought mud, bought.
It's quite funny, like looking at the skin now. You just see skin, and I was thinking, what were you so interested in it before? Like it's just
exactly.
It's just flesh, and you're just like it's crazy. I know, but it's funny how when the mind switches. I mean, obviously. Yeah. It's hard. I tried all this along before, and you just can't. No matter how much you try, you just then saw the male, female. But I think when something happens like this, then you start to see it. I think it's
That happened to you because of samatha. You started with Ajahn Lee thing of breath watching, and that was a turning point for you. That by watching breath continuously, being on that, it helps you to break that because mind has to be still to a certain degree before you even understand what is a male and a female.
I think it's like when you're on the breath, like you say, when in samatha, I think when you're investigating, it's different than when you're intellectually investigating. You just know it in the mind, but it doesn't break it. But when I don't know, I think when it goes to the heart, when you investigate with the heart, it then enters, and then it. That's it. Then it's not intellectual anymore. Then it inside the heart. I can't explain it, but
yeah, true. And then we had this. We dissected a pastry. Myself, Chirag, and Ariu. So Chirag loves pastries, so we went to the pastry, and I told him cut the pastry and see what is there inside. You can't eat it, and you have to eat it very slowly. Slowly means it's just like crawling it, and that pain of eating, you see, you feel, I'm done. I don't want to eat. Push it, push it. You know what? When you are craving, you eat fast. Now to cut craving, you eat it slowly, very slowly. It's just like, meditation. And by the time you finish half of that pastry, you're done. You feel, please take it out from me. I don't want. And that's it. You'll never love pastries again, no matter how much you try, because it cuts out from your mind. Pastry is gone. So we had this in the pastry. Like that, you can do with everything. Everything. Right from braceries to stockings to this to that to t-shirts, pants, trousers, name it. You can go to every shop, but do it slowly. Watch what is beneath there. It's cotton or whatever, rayon or this and that. It's coming from plastic. It's a polymer. And this is cotton. It's a plant, the tree. You're wearing a tree, basically. Now you're wearing a polymer. So it's an inorganic chemistry and organic chemistry. That's all what it is. Then you lose interest. But you are in the shop and you're not interested. But you'll still wear it. Not for you. Because you don't have you to enjoy it. So it's fun, play around. So you do everything, but you're not there. And that's a relief from suffering. Because it's not you who is wearing it anyway. Doesn't matter. So then you can remove this off easily. Because now you don't have any attachment to this or to the body or to anything. That you can come into the last section, which is Arahat. Because now consciousness cannot stay anywhere. It can't get any footing. Without footing, extinguished. Yes, Shaniel, go ahead.
I just wanted to also add that developing the samatha practice was a big turning point for me as well. Like I did Goenkaji style Vipassana, which was really good. But when I was able to stay with the breath for longer periods, just like Velocity has been advocating, then that allowed me to really penetrate. But I needed both. I needed that Vipassana that I learned from Goenkaji, and then the mind illuminated helped me develop that samatha practice. And when it reached a certain level, that's when I was able to break through and see a lot of things. And then as both of those developed, they just merged into one. So you could do both. You're doing both. Like you'd get concentrated in samatha, and then you'd be doing vipassana at the same time, whatever was arising. And so then continually, you're always sort of working through and processing whatever's happening, and not being distracted here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, so even in the Hindi section, I tell them, don't drop what you've learned from Goenka. It's good. Keep it. Develop on that. Construct on that, because that's the foundation. Don't throw it. The perfect thing. Develop samatha, because this alone will not take you there. It requires samatha. And Buddha also says samatha and vipassana are like wings. They both go together. You can't have only one wing and not have the other. So don't just jump on samatha and don't just jump on vipassana. You require both samatha. And then only you can cut it. Just like take a sword and cut once.
Yeah, there's, all of those enlightenment factors we have to develop, right? And Dhamma Vichaya is one of those. And that Goenkaji practice really helps with that. So that's why I kept doing the 10-day retreats, like at least once a year. I would, usually around Christmas time when work was not busy, I would just take 10 days. And I would just follow the instructions from the Vipassana courses, 3 days Anapanna and then body scanning, do that Vipassana. And it helped me be able to penetrate deeper and deeper. So my level before the 10-day retreat would be here, and then I'd finish it. The depth of what I could do would be here. I'd go back to daily life. It'd come back to here a bit because you can't maintain that depth, in daily life. But then my new starting point is here. Next 10-day one course I do, it gets to here, comes back to here. So slowly, that factor of enlightenment improved. But samatha develops, I think Buddhadasa says 5 of those 7 bojjhangas. When you take it up to stage 8, 9, close to 10, like it develops 5 of those really fully. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very
so you
nice.
need both.
Yes, you require both. And Tuladasa's thing, what Harry introduced me to, pretty good. I had myself never seen. In fact, he got me this many books. In fact, one funny incident before I think we leave, or I don't know how much Shaniel has the time, is that one funny incident. Harry had booked the Chuladasa's Mind Illuminated from Amazon.com, US, because the Indian copies are, if you look at the print in the backside also, this front side is printed, meaning you can't read it properly because they have this Indian subcontinent sale, which means that it will be pretty cheaper. Okay. So he sent it from America. So it landed up in Bangalore. So there was this courier company, DTDC, and they were supposed to deliver my house. And the DTDC shop is just 1 kilometer from my home. So here's the story. This guy comes, he doesn't deliver. And I get a message on my mobile, delivered. What delivered? Then it's in the evening, delivered. So I call up the call center. They said they have delivered. I said, delivered to whom? No, to the person. I said, I am the person. It didn't get delivered. So this conversation happened. Unfortunately, I copied Aryu on an email saying that I just put a word, I am pained. It's an English word to make him realize what he's done is wrong. So I wrote to the manager, yeah. And I had another manager whom my mother-in-law had given it on rent, and that is the same company. So I called him up saying that, look, your another branch is done like this. So then they said, please write. I'll give you the email ID. You will please write and make it sound really good. I said, yes, I'll do that. In the meanwhile, in the morning, I went to that store, to that fellow, and picked up that book and came back, and I wrote an email and I copied our friend. So he's so worried about, Vilas, tell me, why did you use that word, I am pained? Were you really in Byapad? I said, Ariu, that's a way of writing. It's not that I care about what it is. The mind illuminated book is fine, but you have to write like that because that guy will not understand. He's told lies. So he has to be punished. They have to take action. You can't let him go because he's not delivered. He's saying, no, you shouldn't. You're an anagami. You shouldn't be doing that. I said, forget the anagami business. I need to do what is supposed to be done. So I had a hard time in convincing about the mind illuminated. It really illuminated me because now he's reading every word and he's thinking, Vilas is anagami. He shouldn't have written like this. He would have done like that. And then I was wondering, okay, this is also a fact. Like I need to really see in what I'm writing. And I told him, forget being anagami. I first have to solve this problem because I felt unhappy. Really, not personally unhappy. You are a professional company. How can you do like this? You're not delivered. How can you say you delivered? And he's saying, that guy is saying, it was raining. I said, raining where? 1 kilometer radius, there was no rain yesterday. Then he got caught. And he's saying that maybe our person would have delivered to another house. I said, it is here in your shop. Oh, okay, fine, take it and go. Because he was cornered completely. So they took an action against him. So they transferred him to another branch. That's not an action. That's actually bullshit action. You should throw him out. It looks bad that for this, but how can you do like that? How can you lie? It's ethics, right? You say will deliver. So I was not pissed off with anyone. But that mind illuminated really illuminated me in understanding Ariu, because he's reading every word out of whatever I've written. I wrote a huge mail that this is unprofessional. I would ask every customer of mine not to go with DTDC again. That was my last sentence. And that center head gave me a call. Sir, I got your email. This is why you're writing like this. I said, this is how your company is. How can you do like this? He said, we apologize. He sent an email. We apologize. Don't do this. Don't tell your customers. Don't make it public, blah, blah, all that. I was laughing. I was not feeling any upset. I wanted to put him in a right perspective. Come on, shake you up. Do what you promised to do. So that mind illuminated, whenever it comes, I remember his reaction to my email. Yeah, you go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. I guess back then I did not understand Vyapada properly. I guess I thought of it as if you have no Vyapada, then even the smallest irritation wouldn't happen. I think it's not true, as what I understand now.
It's not irritation. You just doing a worldly thing. In the worldly thing, you should do what is worldly. Like in his case, Daniel, even if he's an Arhat, tomorrow an employee is not working. He can't say I'm an Arahat, so okay, whatever happens, happens, and now I'm done with it. Okay, you want to screw up this company, go ahead and screw it up. No. I hope he's not going to do that. He has to take action. He has to be mindful, and he should teach that employee or whoever has come to do what is supposed to be done for half bricks. He's not doing for Shaniel, he's doing to half bricks. So he should work, he's working for half bricks. So to do what has to be done. Yes, Shaniel, sorry.
Perfect segue. I have a case study in point. So what day is it today? Wednesday. So it was on a Friday. I had to fire somebody, and that somebody was my friend as well. And yeah, there were some things that the situation warranted that I needed to take action. So I did it, but I did it not out of anger or ill will.
Exactly.
And also I knew that she would be upset because we are friends. So I said, okay, I know you probably need some time to process this. When you're ready to talk, give me a call. So I think yesterday? I think it was yesterday or the day before. We had a call, and I just spoke to her, calmly and peacefully, and explained the situation. And usually people would have a hard time having those difficult conversations. But as you develop in the Dhamma, you're not doing things out of spite or for negative reasons. So I could hold that space, give her the space she needed, have that conversation. And there was no ill will on my part to any of that, just peace, calm, compassion as well, obviously, because it puts her in danger, like her livelihood is being jeopardized. But then I also spoke to her about, there's probably extra hours that she didn't really claim for. So I said, all right, make sure you go and write down all of the extra hours and give it to me, and we'll make sure we pay that so you have some runway and other things. So you can make wiser decisions, and it's not, black and white, one thing or another.
Yeah, that's right. So you should take action means you should take action, but you're not personal. I'm not personal. Not all personal. That will go away. If you are personal, then you feel hurt or you feel something. If there's no personal, there's nothing to feel hurt. I'm working for ABB means I'm just doing what is mandated there rather than I being part of that. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely can understand there's no frustration or anger at that person. I completely agree. But I guess at Anagami, you can still have struggles, right? It's you're struggling someone because the I is still there. So from that perspective, you can say you're pained. If it's from that perspective, you
I
can
was not pained. I just wrote that word, I'm pained, because that's exactly then somebody will do something about it. It's just an English language or whatever language you're going to say. It's not that I'm really pained that you took away my mind illuminated, which are you, my friend had sent it, and how can you do this to me? No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. You can always say, I will deliver it tomorrow. That's fine. Rather than saying that it's delivered. I'm trying to fix the problem because it's me, it's okay. If it is some other customer, then what's going to happen? Let's say, let's take passport. Somebody is delivering passport and then he says it's already delivered. Where? To whom? That's the danger. That I wanted to address to the branch manager, that he shouldn't allow his employee to do something like that. I was really not paid, to be honest. Meaning pained as what than that. Then you might also ask me, Ari, that why did you put it in the first place? I put it because another branch manager told me to write like that so that they get awakened. Okay, I'll write it. Yeah,
thank you.
like if my boss says write like this, otherwise my team will not understand, I'm going to write it. Absolutely, I'm going to write it because I've been asked to do it. Do it. No personal. Just like a surgeon goes and fixes a heart which is not in a good condition, he has to cut, he has to do a lot of things, he has to make the blood flow out and blah blah, all that, and then in the end, he has saved the dying person. In the same way, you are doing the same thing with any project or any work or anything like that. There's no personal. So I can understand the pain of Shaniel. I'm using the word Shaniel. If he gets caught up being Shaniel, then he's going to have messed up life, because then he becomes judgmental of people. But at this level, there's no need to be judgmental. It's just taking action on what should be taken, an action, not a reaction. And sometimes we misunderstand action to be reaction. No, action is thought out. Reaction is instantaneous. You just do it as spur of the moment. Action is what should be done. You think it over. You see, okay, this is the best action I can take at this point in time, and take it. Okay, good. Yes, Nitin, go ahead.
Uh, last 2 months I had been facing this issue in practicing Dhamma, and the Dhamma is really saving me. So, as you shared your experience, I am also going through the same experience. There's a land encroachment, and I've been fighting with the system. The whole system is so corrupted, and I have it's me versus everyone. And there is a mixed emotions that comes up. I never felt fear, but in between I am getting the emotions of fear also. And yesterday, while listening to you and Shane, that you don't exist, there is no one to experience, and I literally start feeling that, and burden was so off. There was no burden; it was so free. So, like 70-80% of uh, the burden is off now. So that is my experience, and thanks to both of you. But still, uh, when I'm feeling metta, I just feel like giving it up, because they have built a temple in my land without asking me. They made some false papers and all those things. And end of the day, I'm thinking, what is going to come out of this? Whether I should punish this, but there is a limitation, because the whole system is so corrupt, right from the Gram Panchayat till the higher level. And yesterday, even I was in police station, and they they did all the manipulation. They wanted to sign me some statement. So everything was uh, whatever they were doing is uh, they were not following the rule of. They were not going by the books. They have their own rules, and being from Mumbai, I'm experiencing these things first time because earlier 2 months, 2.5 months back, I was so confident that okay, I will teach these people a lesson, and uh, it was not out of anger or anything, but I was very calm until last 10-15 days. But I'm not finding a single lawyer who is honest, whom I can trust with, and all this. It was really a very hard time to test myself, my practice, Dhamma. But yesterday's your experience helped me a lot, and I'm still uh, in a little bit of confusion of what to do and what not to do. But at least it's giving me some clarity now. And for you, like 50 people, all the officials and all are everybody is part of the same corrupt system, and I am from the different world. I'm feeling like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
No, you give up in your mind just to,
Mm,
as a ritual.
mm,
Just like you go to a temple, let's say somebody goes to a temple, you just go as a ritual. You do the follow up as a ritual, not expecting that that land will come to you, and even if it comes to you, doesn't matter. It doesn't come to you, doesn't matter, because you can give up in the mind. You can just relieve that whole thing, saying that okay, they have encroached. As in India, anybody can encroach anything and anywhere, so it's encroached. So now, what you could do is don't take it personally because there's no land of yours personally anyway, and nobody owns any land. So you just take it like this: out 24 hours, 18 hours he can encroach, and the 6 hours he has to let it go because he's deep asleep, and that's it. That there ends the land of anyone. So that being the fact, you just pursue just for the sake of it, not because you have to get it. This is one option. Second option, if you want to donate it, just say, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm willing to donate to the temple. Go ahead and donate it. That there ends the thing. I'll give an example, Nitin, to substantiate what I'm trying to say. One friend of mine had come to my home. He said, a dream came to me that you go to Vilas and he will give you money. Some God came and told him. And I don't know why, how could God realize that I'm Vilas and I have this much money and I can give it to him? It was a very nice fabricated story, which was very good to hear. And then he was saying that, Vilas, you don't know how fortunate and this. I'm so fortunate. I'm getting this. I said after hearing to him, I asked him two things: are you taking it on loan or are you asking for donation? If you're asking for donation, I'll give you the entire money because it doesn't belong to me. If you are saying I'm taking it on loan, I will not give you. The reason, you will bind me. Why? Because I keep on following up. And you will start with some excuses. Oh, I wanted to give this month, but please give me another 3 months. You. Then I have to wait for another 3 months. And then you're going to say another 6 months, another 3 months, and 6 months, and 3 months, 6 months, like that. It goes for years together. Now, if we are clear from day one, I want you to donate for XYZ reasons. I don't want the reasons. I will donate. I don't want for what you're going to use. It's your karma. It's your karma, your deeds. You use it for whatever. If you use for good things, you'll get good. If you get used for bad things, you get bad. Simple as that. Then he said, Vilas, don't tell me like that. I said, no, I'm very serious. Is it for donation or is it for loan? He said, loan. I'll not give you. That's it. He said, no. I said, no, I don't want to get bound by you. and neither I want to bind you. It's out. Why? Because to take this, I have to come back again to this existence, which I can't. Two, you will end up in a terrible misery, which I don't want you to suffer in your next life. Not give you. Right. He said, you're very, very rough or something like that. I said, I'm not rough. I'm telling you straight on your face. I'll not give you because I don't want you to suffer later. If you ask me for donation, I'll give it to you. I have no problem. Whatever the money you are asking, it's your karma. Because when you take money out of donation, you're bound badly. If you use it for wrong purpose, you had it. You will suffer. With karma, with this loan basis, you're binding me for that. Why should I be bound? I don't want to be bound. I'll not give you. So then his shoulders were drooping and he said, no, think it over. I said, there's nothing to think it over. I'm saving you from further misery. I can't come back to this human existence and you will suffer. And I don't want you to suffer in your next life. And that's all. Yeah. So, Nitin, from this story, what I just now said, you decide.
Yeah, in fact, yesterday after the police station episode, it was almost clear in my mind that it's a trap which I'm going deeper and deeper, and I don't want to be in this trap. So whatever compensation, if they give or they don't give, I just want to close this matter. The only thing I entered into this is because there is no one who can take this responsibility in my family. So if I don't take it, then the encouragement will they will keep on, because it's a big line, so it will extend. The encouragement will keep on extending, and somewhere we have to put it. We have to stop it somewhere. They have to feel.
Yeah, correct. So looking at that, you pursue. Don't take it personal. You don't take it personal at all. Just pursue it so that they don't encroach others' land, because then they are actually threatening you to give up, and they will do the same thing with others. Just to ensure that doesn't happen, just pursue without interest.
Yeah.
Without any interest over that, you just pursue. And then don't allow the temple to encroach further. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just working on it. Only fighting with everyone in the system is okay, but the police station itself gives really a big, it's hard time, because they have their own ways of manipulating the things. That is the only problem, and because of that reason only, I just want to give up, actually, because it's a very time consuming process, and I don't know where it will lead to. So,
no, it is going to lead only to mental anguish.
It's a jungle rule.
Yeah, Nitin, it is going to only enter into mental anguish. So if you're feeling that, don't pursue. Meaning just give up. Say, okay, forget it. Because you see this, I'll tell you a very simple thing. You give up. Okay? The moment you give up, you move further in the Dhamma. That person who is manipulating and taking it, he will lose everything. So it's just a losing battle for him. So just like, the like the one person is pulling rope on one side and you're pulling on the other side. So like a tug of war. So you just let that rope go away. The other side will fall down completely, because then it's gone. Because when you have a donation mindset, that is dana, it increases sila, then it increases nekkhamma, then it increases virya, then it increases khanti, it increases Satya, then it increases Aditthana, it increases this one, Metta, and it increases Upekka. So you have 10 paramis, just let it go
Yeah, yeah,
and done. So you get all the 9 paramis because of this one thing, just let go. And that's it. Over.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Yes, Sari.
No, Nitin, I'm glad to hear you already reduced a lot of pain, but if you just still have a little pain left, maybe this could help. Just to let you know, this does not only happen in India. My father in US account ran into the same thing. He has went through 6-7 year of lawsuit up to the Supreme Court, and in the meanwhile they got into jail, and then the lawyers are corrupt. Everything's corrupt because they themselves are lawyers, so they fought the system for all many years and for not that much money, but they want justice, so they're hooked into it and they keep fighting, and for these 8 many years they're in agony, and they win the Supreme Court's case. But then when they're executed in the local law level, it does not get executed. So they cannot even dare to return because they're afraid of retaliation, that they have to move their things somewhere else. And now they again go to the Supreme Court to get some, compensation for this process, and they rejected it. So now they lost over like $1 million with, all these many years of pain. And the original house is hardly, I don't know, 200K or something, but they lost so many more time, and they're in complete pain, and they're in, devastation right now because they just lost, everything. Now they got their son into it. They got their son to write a book, reach out to people, to continue, publication and all that. So there's a lot of pain. If you get into fight with corrupt systems, you're get hooked into hell, basically. I can see how much agony they went through.
Yep.
So yeah, just to
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Ariu.
yeah, no problem.
Madhulika, go ahead.
No, so my question is basically related to the response which you gave it to Nitin. So he mentioned that, he's taking the things very neutral, but because of the way the police system works, right? And he doesn't want to go through the same agony, right? So you suggested him to then give it as a dana, right? Like as a donation. But then will it really be called as a dana? Because I am doing it because out of fear and agony, right? That I don't want to go through that pain. So instead of that, okay, let me give up.
No, the
So
giving up
will it
is
still
no, the giving up. The giving up is what? The giving up is what makes you get into nibbana. Anutpada. You're not creating, right? So then, dana means what? To give. Is to give. So now you're holding on to something which you don't want to give. You're holding it dear. It's called adana. And that is when the upadana happens. It's all the same words. Dana is to give. Upa is near. Upadana is to hold it near. Now, what Nitin is doing is he's holding it near. He's holding it very tight. That this land, they have taken it. Now they will be taking some other land of my ancestral, blah, blah, all that. So it shouldn't be allowed. That's correct. Legally, ethically correct. Now, when you have adana, that creates stinginess, acharya. And the fight will start with stinginess, that it shouldn't go to them. So the anguish is there. One of the easiest way to do is to see it from the third party, like what I was talking yesterday. First person, second person, third person. Look from third person's perspective. The land doesn't belong to anyone. Neither to Nitin nor to that temple. It's just a land. It's only the title of land is what they are fighting for, the paper. That this is belonging to Nitin's family or this is belonging to temple. So they have faked, they have taken wrong documents and then proven that it is the temple's property. Let's put it that way. Now, Nitin is fighting as Nitin. No, is fighting for justice. So you put justice in the front, then you go back, so you're given dana. Okay, that means you don't come into picture. Now you just look at this. If a place is corrupt, no matter how much justice you would like to get, it's a long drawn battle and makes no sense to lose your peace for some land. And land doesn't belong to anyone. Just like money doesn't belong to anyone, it just belongs in the bank. The only thing is that it's moving from one account to another account. But it belongs to the bank. It doesn't belong to anyone, actually. If you don't use it, then the bank is using it. Simple as that. So, taking that, why don't you just give up? Upadana is gone. And then what happens? You're relieved of that entire saga of suffering. Got it? Just give in your mind, just give dana. Okay, so just give dana. It's done. Now, what Nitin can do is he can mentally give it up to begin with. Only left is physical giving up. If it gets too far, meaning he has to travel from Mumbai to that place and again come back and all of these things, tiring. Okay, take it. Anyway, he's mentally given up. It's only the physical giving up. It becomes very easy. Now, what does he gain? You see this. Dana brings in sila. So he becomes even more moral now. That will bring in nekkhamma. That means he's not getting illusioned. He's in fact getting into giving up, meaning that is, this passion is there, developed. Yes, may, bye. So then it brings him into virya, energy. Then it develops kanti, patience, or this forbearance. Then with forbearance, he can get into satya. He can see what it is and what it is not. It doesn't belong to anyone, actually. Then adhitthana, determination. Then it brings him into metta, because he can see these people suffering. Like my friend who came to ask for money. If I'd given him, he would have suffered in his next life. I stopped it. At present, it looks painful for him. And he stopped talking to me for the last few years. It's fine. But I saved him from coming danger. Because he's telling lies. He's going to use it for something else. And he's not going to give it to me unless I keep on following it up. So, should I give? So then, the metta, I had to pass it on to my friend. Because he's suffering with that, with this kind of mentality. And then upekha, equanimity. Just this one, just letting go of this, the domino effect. So just give up. Upadana creates bhava, bhava creates jati, jati creates jara and all that. Let it go. Anyway, they can't keep this land for themselves. Nobody can keep, because it doesn't belong to anyone. Paper belongs to someone. Paper says this belongs to the temple. But do they hold the land? No. Tomorrow, if there's a flood, the entire place is submerged in water. Over. What temple? What land? And it doesn't even belong to Nitin. If it is flooded, what will it? Like, I'll give an example. In Karnataka, between the border of Karnataka and Maharashtra, there is this Krishna river which flows into Andhra Pradesh. So then while my father was young, they announced the entire city and the village that please let go of the land and we'll give you another land somewhere else, because the dam is built, the whole place will get inundated with water. So 72,000 hectares of land got submerged. They lost the land. They lost everything under it. And the government gave somewhere else. But those ancestral land, so who belongs to whom? What belongs to whom? Nothing. Just give up. I think if I am Nitin, I'll do like that. I'll give up in the mind and I'll give up in the body when I feel tired of it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Nitin.
Yes, sir. In fact, since yesterday, after listening to you, both of you experience, Shinil and you, the awareness level is different actually. Earlier, I used to be aware of my body, breath, but there is a the quality of it was different. But since yesterday, it has changed. It's more subtle, I would say, and it feels more natural. So that is the difference I am feeling, and uh, my existence is it is minimized. I am feeling like um, it's very little like that. So it gives a lot of relief and relaxation as I walk as I watch the outside things. So this is helping me since yesterday. I mean, it was helping, but since yesterday, after listening to morning talk, the quality of awareness is different. That is what I wanted to share.
Thank you. Okay, so should we end for the day?